We have some drone footage to show you and some ordinary video to show you. But first of all, I want to just to give you a couple of personal things. I've also been asked about my surgery. I'm still waiting for my surgery. It's 18 months now, getting on for 2 years actually, not 18 months. And so I have to just keep waiting. And the other thing is that Helen has stopped working with me because she's had several different injuries to her shoulders and her knees. So we're all getting old now. So she can't push the wheelchair at the moment. So, and she says that she'd rather sort of come now and again. And Magdalena has also gone. She has moved away. She is now down in the area of Murcia. And I'm not quite sure what she's doing. But anyway, she's gone. Anyway, I want to get on with this video, and obviously there's several sections to the video, and the first part of the video will be property prices, and I've got a few properties for you, and they are outstanding prices, unbelievable prices. Now, the big thing about Pego is transport, because the only transport they seem to have is buses. And if you haven't got a car, a motorbike, a scooter, or any other form of transport, it's going to really limit you to what you can do, because they only have 2 services a day. That's what I found out anyway. And that one, the first one goes at it's quite early in the day, 7:10 in the morning it goes, and then the next one goes at 16:05. So 2 services a day, and that's all you've got. And they don't really stop a lot of places either. They go to Denia, Gandia, and Alcoy. That's the distance ones. But the local ones obviously go into Denia, and there's a few stops on the way, but not many. It really is quite a desperate situation if you haven't got a car or transport, as I say. So it's something you really have to look into, or maybe share a transport with someone. I don't know. Until you get to know people, it's going to be quite difficult. So I would suggest that if you haven't got transport, it's really not the place to go and live, in my opinion. But I've got a car, and you just need a car. You need a car to go shopping, grocery shopping, or just to get about. So, and even worse, at least there I can get out of here. But it's only the buses again, and they don't come that often. They're like England, I suppose, where they've closed a lot of the rural routes, because it's just not paying. So yeah, be aware of that one. That's a dodgy one, that one. So just be aware of it. Okay. So we're right in the centre now, and there's a spa on my left. I know there's a Mercadona here, and I think it's either Aldi or Lidl as well here. So plenty of places to go food shopping. Very small streets as always, of course. But I know people are looking for, somewhere different to live. And obviously this is a smallish town, and it obviously appeals to a lot of people. So the next section for Pego is working. And as a lot of you know, I'd never worked in Spain. I came here in 2008, and I'd already retired in the UK. So the only work that I have actually done is YouTube, and that's not work. That's fun. I enjoy flying the drone. I enjoy making the videos. So yeah, so that's not working. Anyway, They have a minimum wage here in Spain, which I found out about. And if you're a part-time worker, i.e., not full-time, you get 8.87 euros per hour. That's for part-time workers. And with the full-time work, that works out to 1,184 as a basic minimum per month. On top for that, you get 22 days holiday a year, which I think, if I remember, we used to get about 3 weeks, didn't we? I can't remember. But anyway, it's 22 days here. And the average is 40 hours a week, but I doubt whether many people do actually only 40 hours. On top of that, obviously, you need to be registered as TIE here. So you need a TIE card so you can work. And the one thing that everyone tells me about is the contract of employment, because until you have a contract of employment, the actual employers can sack you, get rid of you anytime they want. Until you get that contract, you're not secure. Now, I'm sure there's lots of other things to do with working, but I've just given you the basics, and obviously you need to follow that up if you're going to come and work here or set up your own business or whatever the case may be. But I'm sure that you'll find out the relevant information that you need if you scroll online long enough, which is exactly what I do. So that's working in Spain. The next thing. Okay, the last section we're going to cover now is healthcare. And I've covered this in all the videos that I've done on this subject. But just to remind people that if you are retirement age, 67, then the UK will pay for your healthcare with the S1 form. Now, you fill that in and that covers you, and the UK covers all the expenses on your healthcare. If you're in your 50s or below 67, basically, you have to take out health care insurance. So private health insurance is quite expensive. It can cost between 100 or 200 a month, and that's just for one individual. So if you're a family, then obviously that's important that you get your family covered as well. Now, what those costs are, I really don't know. I mean, like when you're doing your car insurance, they have brokers doing this over here. So what I suggest is going around one or two of the brokers, seeing what specs, what they cover for how much, and then you can go from there. But you can register for public health and get a SIP card. I haven't got mine here at the moment, so I can't show you. But basically, it's like a credit card with all your information on. It's got your name, your address, your date of birth, and anything that you've had done in the system, broken leg, or you've cut yourself, whatever the case may be, all that will be on the SIP card. So all you got to do is give the card in every time you go to the hospital, and they have your information straight away. So it's important that you get a PADRON, so people know who you are, where you are, and register at the health clinic, and also get your SIP card. That's the things I would suggest you do. And going back to the S1 form, that's something that you're only going to do if you're at retirement age of 67. There is no free healthcare in Spain at all. So one way or another, you pay for it. But what I suggest, it's such a complicated procedures, all these, I would suggest you really look it up on the internet, look at the government sites, really go through it with a fine tooth comb. And then, as I say, start going around some of the brokers and getting prices, for healthcare. That's the end of the video. I hope some of it has been of interest to you and helpful. That's what I do it for. And I look forward to seeing you all in the future. Okay, bye, ciao.